Major Music.
Right, what's up? Back with another interview, and it's your boy D Dot. And today we're actually going to be coming to you with a Dallas-based artist, actually based out of Garland, Texas, by the name of Herc GTH. And Herc is going to stop by to talk about his latest release, which is titled Novi Presents a Surreal Moment in Time. It's an EP. I got a chance to listen to that. Pretty dope sound, and we're going to just talk about his creative process, his journey as a music creator, and any other projects that he has coming out. This is your first time tuning into the Major Music Lounge. We like to interview other music creators, as we're going to have the conversation with Herc today about his journey creating music and more. You can follow me on Instagram at d._major music. Same thing on Threads and TikTok. You can also follow me on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at d.mme. But if you're a music creator and you're interested in getting on a Major Music Lounge podcast, you can hit me up on any one of those platforms. We'll be sure to check you out and make that interview happen. Now let's go ahead and get into the interview with her. Back with the Major Music Lounge podcast, actually joined by my good friend Herc GTH, straight out of Garland, Texas. What's good, my brother?
Oh, bless, man. Happy to be here. Happy to link up and talk about it, man. I'm excited.
Yeah. First and foremost, I'm definitely glad you reached out to me, and it's real kind of it's dope, like getting a chance to hear some of your work, see some of your videos. We're gonna chop it up definitely about that. Hearing about your journey as well. But first, I do want to say this though to the audience. I promise you, I'm not wearing the same clothes on a different episode, but I just got through doing back-to-back interviews, so that's why you see me in the same gear. But yeah, that's all I wanted to get out of the way real quick.
He said a quick disclaimer, don't you want to hear no jokes. We don't need no
Yeah,
jokes.
no jokes. Man, putting in work, like you said, overtime, man.
So,
Overtime. So, man, tell us a little bit, Herc, about how did you get started with music? Like, when was it that you decided you wanted to rap, and who were some of your influences as far as becoming a music creator?
yeah. Well, honestly, man, I was a late bloomer or a late starter when it came to the music. You know, I grew up as an athlete. Playing football, went to college football and everything. Of course, we from Texas, so locker room, we freestyling and rapping, but we do it for fun. So, of
Yeah.
course, I've been in studio, did fun. I had a lot of people around me that did music. But honestly, I didn't start taking music seriously until 2019. That's when I came home from TDC. You know what I'm saying? I did a little time or whatever, and I came home and I told myself, well, actually, I wrote home and told my people and told myself that I want to make my first legal million from making music. You know what I'm saying? And ever since then, I've been steady pushing, steady working and rolling. And, we got a little momentum, and here we are. So it's been a journey.
Yeah, definitely. And that's really dope to hear because when I was kind of going through like your catalog, I noticed, correct me if I'm wrong, I think your first release was like in 2022, like shortly after that.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, and with that kind of said, like you've been really on a serious grind. It looks like since then, everything from dropping like a lot of singles, a lot of projects in between then and now, in
Yes, sir.
addition to, we kind of talked about it offline a little bit, but putting out a lot of content as well with that. So, that's not easy to do. A lot of people, they might see us on Instagram or wherever, but putting out this content, editing this content in a lot of cases, and for some artists that could be intimidated. So one, I want to commend you on that personally, and then two, with that said, like how has that helped you in terms of growing your network, whether it's finding other opportunities like in music, or it could be with your audience. How has
Right.
it gave you a bigger audience?
Yeah, and again, shout out to you too, because you're right, man. Like we just said, that's one thing about being an artist, and if you're a serious artist, it's a job too. You know, I don't know what you know, whatever we may do to for our living to make our livelihood on the other end, but you also got to approach this end like a job if you want to see the results from it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely. Honestly, it's for me, like one thing I can say is the more I work, the more work I do put out, the more content I put out, the more I push it, I run into the right people. You know what I'm saying? Networking with the right people who are also working, because that is a challenge early in the game. It's like everybody does music, but at what level you kind of figure out later. So it's like yeah, the more you can see who's serious by kind of how you said. If you look at my catalog, I had a year where I dropped 20 videos, and so you can tell who's serious by who's putting out the content, who's investing in themselves. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's definitely a key, like you said. Like for me, even me when I'm choosing to work with somebody or artist or something, I'm looking at what they work rate. We can't choose who I'll listen to our music, but I can look at their page and say, okay, you dropping daily, you making nice content. I see you doing. Yeah, I want to work with somebody who pushing. Because I'm a push. So I think that's the key. Just keep everything forward and keep it moving, and you run into the right people when you're working. Even how I liked it with you, social media and stuff. But I'm looking, I see people working. I'm like, yeah, I want to be a part of it too. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, I'm definitely kind of like the same way. And I made mistakes. And what I mean by that in the past, like working with people maybe that I personally saw potential in, but then I ended up being wrong about it from the aspect of, this might be, I think you might have saw me post this, but this might be their only time on a video, music video, or this might be
Yeah,
their only time on a single. And, I don't mind lending the opportunity out, but I also want to link with a lot of people that are also grinding because, like you said, you go run into the same people. You're going to find your audience. You're going to find people that's into what you're doing. And that could link a lot, like, like we found each other, that could lead to other opportunities. And I mean, we just met each other, what, about maybe a week ago or so, but like,
yeah, yes.
we could do
Got
some
to it
music
quick.
later down the line. You never know.
Yes, sir. Exactly. And you hit on the head, like you said. That's the same thing with me. I got a million features I done did that don't even see the light of day. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and it's crazy, and it's crazy to me because I'm like, man, I do push. People, I'm blessed. People listen to my music. I get streams. I get paid for music stuff. I'm like, it don't make sense to me. But now, as I've grown, I've noticed to look at the signs of, okay, who's still gonna push? Who am I going to who wants to just do a music because they say doing it, but who I'm looking at their page, okay. And I ain't gonna lie, anybody I work with, I tell them, hey man, let's get a visual budget, let's get a pushing budget. I got a marketing team I work with and stuff. Let's push it. You know what I'm saying? If we're not gonna push it unless we might as well just keep doing recreationally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can freestyle in the room, but that ain't gonna get none of us paid. So it's like,
No, no.
that ain't what I'm here for.
And
So
a lot of these cats are looking for like they wanna feel like they're a part of something. But
right,
in the
right,
end, they're not really doing anything in the end. So it's like, I mean, you still constantly grinding, but they got their little 5 minutes of fame or whatever, and you don't hear from them again. And that's
exactly,
the kind of people that I want to kind of avoid as well, man.
right.
Now, with that said, some of the content that you came out, I took note. You perform a lot. You do a lot of shows. Is that like in the Garland area, or like you go?
Uh,
Pretty much wherever.
You know what? Honestly, and it's crazy because just being transparent. Just like I said, I've been doing music for a long time. Just in the last 2 years, I've been starting getting actual paid bookings consistently. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Shout out Dallas Hemp Company, Two Oak ENT. Shout out the clubs and everything. But I said it to say now, if it used to be, I always had to go to Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Dallas, I'll get booked to be Fort Worth or Dallas. Lubbock, outside, the Texas. But just recently, we've had Garland is a suburb of Dallas or whatever. We right outside. But we just recently, man, we had some. The Tiny Stage, B Hippie Company, Manny's House at Lux United, and that's where I record. we're just starting to have an infrastructure that's actually like conducive to artists in our city. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that's I've been blessed now to link it with the right people. Like I said, shout out Manny, shout out Lux United Studios, Lorenzo. But I'm linking up the right people now. Most of my shows now I'm getting booked right in the city. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
I get to stay home. I get to be around people I know, to love. You know what I'm saying? And that's been real cool. And that just happened within the last like 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So before this, yeah, everything was also anything I got booked at was Dallas, Fort Worth based. You know what I'm saying? So it's been real cool to kind of see it. Like I said, I'm from Garland, it's my hometown. You know what I'm saying? I put on King of Garland. I don't know if y'all know, but Herc GTH, King of Garland. But I say, it's beautiful, man, to see the hometown, to see all the artists out here and the venues coming to be conducive to what we're trying to do in this building. You can see it. You know what I'm saying? The energy and the people is reaching out, is getting a good reach. So it's really, I tell people, if you're an artist in Garland, it's the best time in the world to be an artist in Garland right now. It's exciting. You got the most opportunities you ever have.
Yeah, man. I look at some of those videos and I could see the energy, I could see the vibes in the building. And one thing I definitely, in fact, I don't know, you know, Soze.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's
Yeah,
family. Yeah, he in
yeah.
the God Truth Hill family, man.
Yeah,
GTH.
yeah, that's the
Yes, sir.
homie. That's the homie. That's the homie. Me and him actually working on something. He gonna be on, I'm dropping this album Wednesday, but he's on the album as well. He been on
Oh,
the
yeah.
podcast.
Oh, hey,
So
well, you already know then. GTH tapped in, man. You already got a fan. We for sure. That's exciting.
definitely,
That's really
definitely,
exciting.
man.
Hey,
But
shout out Soze GTH, man. Shout out everybody.
shout out Soze. We're gonna definitely be chopping it up again real soon, man.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I see what y'all doing, man, and I definitely gotta pull up on y'all, at one of your performances and check you out, man.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. And I ain't gonna lie, too. Shout out to the whole GTH family, man. Soze, Solarly, Fripp, JD the Future, Ghoul. Yeah, I don't make sure I miss nobody, but yeah, that's another thing. I'm blessed to be a part of a collective. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like to say like we the new Wu Tang. Ain't no leaders or nothing. We just all try to come together. We support each other. We make good music, come together, and it's been working. It's been for years now. We've been together rocking for years, and like I said, you can tell the difference. It's one thing to have some people backing you. It makes our shows different. Any show we go to, you're gonna feel the energy because the whole GTH family rocking. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
shout out GTH one time, man. Appreciate that. It's
Shout out to
exciting.
GTH. I love what you brothers doing, man. Keep up the great work.
Thank
Definitely.
you. I appreciate that. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir. Man, I got a chance. I was in the gym this morning and
Oh
I got a
yeah.
chance to listen to your project. Novi presents a surreal moment in
Yes.
time, the EP. I really like the vibes on that joint.
Thank
Uh,
you.
no problem, man. Like, what was your thought process behind coming out with this project?
Yeah. Okay. So honestly, Novi, shout out. I got to give a shout out to Novi. He who I came into, doing music with. My producer. He an artist as well. Most talented guy in music I ever met. Probably. You know what I'm saying? He's just special. But he honestly, he just came home, just relocated back to Garland, back to Dallas area and everything. Man, I was blessed. He sent me a pack of, and it's crazy how fast things happen. I probably ain't dropped music in a year since then. He sent me a pack of his beats. Within that week, we was in the studio. We wrote 3 tracks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was like nothing ever. Like we ain't miss a beat. We had an album. So, and also too, I don't know if you might have noticed. Like it's a short album. You know what I'm saying? It's only 6 tracks, right? But the first half of the album, was more the energy and the vibes. And honestly, the second half was more for the sinking. And little
Yeah.
things you'll notice, like the second half, I didn't cuss it off. They all clean songs. You know what I'm saying? Whether you know it or not. But I say that I have been able to link with a sync companies and marketing companies. So some of my music, I'm thinking, I'm already thinking like, yeah, bro, we gonna get paid on these with the placements. Obviously we can go get a clean version, but it's a little easy. We can go ahead. These radio ready already. So
Yeah.
the idea was just kind of I wanted to package something together, almost like a reintroduction. To be honest, I ain't dropped the album in a while. We wanted to package something together. Me and Novi, coming back as kind of like a reunited tour, package it and something that we can push. And then we're actually working on the second one right now too. So it got such a big little buzz. We was like, man, we got to double. It's only 6 tracks. We like, let's double back with another 5 or 6. Call it two, and that's a real album. Give it to 10, 11 tracks.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of noticed like the vibes on it, kind of like you said, it one part of it was smooth,
Yup.
but one part of it almost had this trap vibe
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
That's exactly what we want. You know, and I think that's the the beauty of our brand. You know what I'm saying? God, truth, health, get to heaven, everything. Grind, trap, hustle is it embodies all of it. It embodies, like I say, you working out and stuff. We work out day. I preach. It's about your body. It's about the mind, body, soul, reading, and also too it shows that like as an artist, as a as just as an artist, as an entity, we have different what's the word I'm looking for? We have different sides of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm the first three songs too, but I'm also the last three. Where we talking about joy and overcoming, and and all that together is what makes me here. And also, and I think it helps people feel it too. I want people to feel my music, so I think because it's so authentic and it's just me. I think people are able to relate and kind of ingest it better. So that's kind of the goals when we're making those type of music and albums and stuff. So.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely feel like, something that you said in there and kind of talking like about this topic in regards to your EP, but also what we talked about in the segment about creating content. Like the beautiful thing about the art of creating music is, especially with the content in 2025, the content allows your audience to see a different side of you, to really see a little bit more of you behind the mic, because I always say that you got to have more than music in this day and age.
Got to.
You got to take people into your world, because, I think that it makes you relatable to as a person. Maybe even if somebody doesn't rap or do any music, they still might be able to relate to something that you do, or something, as far as who you are. Do you, what do you see also with the benefit of, being a music creator, also creating content to kind of take the audience behind the scene?
I think you said it perfectly. You hit it on the head. Like, and I talk about this all the time, especially in today's time. Realize as an artist, we are not just music creators. If you want, again, this is talking from if you want to be in the music business and you want to make money. We're not just music creators. We're entertainers. We're brands. You know what I'm saying. So I think
Yeah.
understanding that and understanding that people don't. You can have the best song in the world. In reality, people don't become fans of your songs. People become fans of brands and you. So like you said, I think when artists realizing that you're not, yeah, we're selling our music, but more so, we're selling ourselves, and you can see it on my page, like, which I'm thankful. Like, part of my brand being God Truth Health, a lot of my pages is fitness and healthy lifestyle stuff. You know what I'm saying? Incorporated with music. So, and honestly, I get almost just as many views on that as I do my music. So it's kind of incorporated all, and I think people, because of that too, people, they do have a different understanding of who Herc is, what to expect. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to buy in too. Like, even the shirt. It's like, yeah, we trying. I know it may sound crazy to have a crazy way of coming about it, but we still trying to glow and grow. We want to get to heaven. God, truth, health. You know what I'm saying? We still want to be
Yeah.
great. The goal is still to be better and help people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think, like you said, it's important for people to understand that and to find out what your brand is and make sure you're consistently putting that content out, because that's gonna help people, for one, identify with you, and then two, like I said, we become fans. I become fans of D-Dot music. You know what I'm saying? The music hard too, and then I go listen to the music. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? It's different. Now I know who he is. I know he rocking what he stand for. Yeah, I can go buy into that. Whereas I always tell people, some of the best songs in the world, dudes will never make a dollar because we'll never know who they are, because they don't want to post themselves. And you know what? And I'm sorry, this is kind of a tangent, but I understand it's intimidating to put yourselves out there
Yeah.
so much. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a wall that artists have to break. Like, there's no such thing as embarrassment. If you want to be an artist, you want to get there, you got to be able to put yourself out. And yeah, it's intimidating to put it out, content out there, put yourself out there, and let people judge you. Let people. Once it's out there for the see. They gonna judge how you look, how you talk, and everything. But once you get over that, that's what it takes to get to the next level. So I think that's very key. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what a lot of artists, and, even to our viewers out there, like me personally, I'm a very introverted person. Like, you wouldn't probably guess that by seeing this podcast or seeing me as a music creator. But also, that with that said, I understand that whether it's branding, myself potentially. being on camera, doing a lot of podcasts, doing other content, being able to like have other brands find me because I've done content to where people have sent me things from different companies and
Yeah,
like I've made videos on it or had some type of representation in it. But like, it's helped me be able to grow as a creator because if I go back and watch some of my old podcasts, they were horrible from 5 years ago and till now, and it's a lot better. But like, I found different ways to create content and be able to get myself out there, and it's helped me whether it's find other collaboration opportunities, other interviews,
right,
relationships with brands. So I encourage like a lot of creators, not just artists, but music producers as well, to put themselves out there. It's very important. And
right.
then, to the whole relatable, you talked about like fitness, like whatever. Well, first of all, y'all need to get in the gym. It's time to be healthy in 2025.
Amen.
But yeah, but
Do it for you
aside
and your
from
family, for real.
you and your family. Like,
Yeah.
we gotta get in the gym. But like anything that you're really in, it kind of goes back to being able to find brands if you're a big sports fan. I see a lot of guys that they got like I don't know promotions or some type of sponsorships from like DraftKings or
Yeah.
whatever company. And I want all of that.
Right, right. Yeah.
Whatever they see me into, personally, I want to work with those types of brands.
Exactly.
So I think artists that don't really create any type of content, and I know a lot, like I'll put it to you like this, there's been people that, even though they're talented, I have not worked with them because they don't put themselves out there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like we talked about earlier, like I feel like there was this one time I did, and I'm not gonna say the name, but I
Yeah.
did this collaboration with somebody, and I noticed I was the only one posting it.
Pushing it.
And like after that, I was like, no offense, but I don't want to work together again. And it's just because of that one thing. Like I'm not gonna be out here putting out this work.
You know what I think too, and to piggyback off that, I think like artists, I think a lot of artists don't realize this, and I realize this. I'm kind of like you too. How you said I'm kind of actually I'm really introverted. Like if it wasn't for music, I wouldn't be on the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But because I do music, I'm going to be on the internet. You're going to push. I don't think artists realize this too. Everyone loves making music. We all love making music. We don't all love making posts, having to post content, having to post on every different social media. We don't like. I don't enjoy it either. Nobody does. But at the same time, if you're going to be serious, that's something you have to do. And I'm like you. It's like, yeah, I get it, bro. We can go make the best song in the world, but I promise you, it's just gonna be me and our family listening to it if we don't go push it. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So it's
Yep.
like. Yeah, I'm like you. So I think, yeah, and that's one thing I'm really big on now. And I tell artists, and here's the thing, because mind you too, I don't, I've only charged a few people for features. Most of the features I do is just networking, and it's, at this point, it's just like I want to do it for the love, and we can grow together. But I tell them now at this point, it's like, unless I see where you working, if you really want a feature, just pay the money, and I'll
Yep.
do the feature for the money. You know what I'm saying? But if you're trying to collab and work, I got to know that we're gonna actually work because it's pretty evident. I'm a push. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So it's like I'm with you on that, man. It's about the effort. It's about the being able to do what we don't want to do and putting the content out. So
It's the same thing, man. Like on these beats too, because I'll get an artist that um they reach out, man. Let's work. Let's do. Let's come out with this. Let's come out with
right,
that. And same thing, I go out look at that page. I follow them or whatever sometime, and I don't see them doing anything. In fact, there's been times in the past I've sent beats out to people and they don't do anything with them. And they want
right,
more and
right.
more. And I'm like, you haven't done anything with what I
With the
sent
ones I
you.
sent you,
So why
yeah,
am I gonna send
yeah,
more? So yeah,
yeah.
but there's been like, there's another artist, in fact, shout out to GP, artist out of Detroit, but
Yeah.
he and I came out with an EP earlier this year. And one of the reasons that we did is I looked at how he worked. He's
Hmm.
always putting something out. So I don't mind like if an artist I see grinding want to work with me and I like what they're doing, let's work,
Yeah.
man. We'll talk
And
about
hey, that's super
how,
dope. You was able to link with somebody out of state too. I'm trying to. That's one thing I want to do. I want to break into markets. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah,
I think that's one of the next steps. I'm really trying to get on the move. It's like, okay, I've done pretty much everything I can do in the DFW Metroplex and the city. Not everything I can do, but I've done to the level. Now I want to reach out in some different markets, man. And like you say, is if like you can find some artists to work with and it's pushing like us in Louisiana, Arkansas, New York, or where Oklahoma, wherever. Man, you didn't double your reach naturally without organically, the real organic way. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
I think people don't understand that too. The only true organic marketing is working and networking with other people. Like if you're not doing that, you're paying. You're gonna pay for ads. You're gonna pay for promo. You know what I'm saying? But the only organic thing is okay. I'm getting in front of other people because they're listening to me. Now your fans then heard of Herc GTH. You know what I'm saying? And now Herc GTH people gonna know that hey, okay, this D-Dot. So that's the only true organic way. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So that's people
yeah.
need to realize.
Real spill, man. That's how you grow from there. That's
Yes, sir.
exactly how you grow. Man, now one thing, and this actually just was before the show came on too, but I pulled up some of your videos on YouTube. Watch Paranoid and Pandemic, two
Sure.
videos, both dope as well, man.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, yeah, man. My
And
question,
I got to shout out my videographer again.
yeah, yeah,
Shout out Asia, man. Shot by Asia at Asia. You know what I'm saying? Now she do website building, brand building, photography, videographer. But like Paranoid, it's crazy. Paranoid is one of my favorite videos. I got a lot of views.
that is
That's one of my best ones. That was our first video. You know
that's
what I'm saying?
dope. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was years ago. We've been rocking ever since. So shout out Asia. So I appreciate that.
That's
Thank you.
pretty dope. No problem, man. Like, really, I was kind of gonna be a question about like you working with your videographer because one, like when you're working, like for I think it was Paranoid, for example,
Yes, sir.
that one had some very dope visuals, like the
Yeah.
nighttime scene and with the city behind
Yeah.
you. And
Thank you.
no problem. Working with that videographer, like, is that more of a collaboration of ideas, or do you kind of say take the wheel and let them come up with the concept on their vision? Like, how do you work on what you see for the videos?
You know what? That's I would say that's a great question. And I can say this about my videographer. I can say this about my engineer. Shout out Lorenzo, Loves United Studios. I'm really blessed to like, I don't, it's just divine energy. I've been aligned with some really, really talented and good people from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It's like I said, Asia, and it's funny. Like one day we're talking to her, but Asia, no, when we shoot videos, hey Asia, I shoot a song. Well, you got any idea what you thinking? You know what I mean? Hey, I got something. So I'm able to say I do. The music. I'm able to let go, and give them creative control. You know what I'm saying? Asia get creative control. What's your ideas? Tell me what you need. Woo, woo. And it's been, and I think that's key too. Like I said, when building artists too, it's like I know as artists, we real, artists are babies, so we want to hold on to it. But it's like as we grow and expand, you know what I'm saying? You gotta listen to somebody, you gotta be able to work with people. So yeah, I'm real, I ain't gonna lie, when it comes to that videos and everything, I'm real free flowing, but again, it's because of who I have around me. I'm able to do that. Now, if my people weren't as talented, wasn't as good as they are, and wasn't as as plush and stuff, then yeah, it'd be different. I'd have to let me do brainstorm. But 9 chances out of 10, I don't even come up with the idea. I let them hear the song. I hear Asia hear the song. She texts back. We got an idea. Then we set a date, and it comes out beautiful every time. So I never complain. Never
Yeah,
complain.
yeah, that's pretty dope. Like, I work with there's a videographer, shout out to Richie
Yeah.
Jetson, but I worked with him in a lot of the past videos. And usually, like, sometimes what I'll do is I may rent this space that we use for an hour or two. And sometimes, like, I may have an idea at a date or a time when I want to do the video, but it's weird because I let it marinate on my mind for a little bit and then I find a spot based off of that. But like
Yeah.
as soon as he gets to the place, he just kind of looks around and see what's available. And he just comes up with these ideas as well that we kind of put our minds together with to help build this video. And that's something that I definitely appreciate because, like even sometimes if I do a feature with somebody, like I may pick their brain more about how they envision the video because sometimes I just
Mm,
want different ideas on, I want them to think from their perspective.
right. Right. I see. That's smart. Right. I think that, you know what, too? I think how you were saying, like, is it's good to be able, because one of my engineers actually told me we get ideas in our mind of how we, whether it's a song too, and his, I'm sorry, let me go back. I can't produce or engineer nothing. I strictly do vocals. So because of that too, I'm really dependent on, my people. They do everything else. So I said that's the one thing my engineer and them and they taught me is that, like, okay, you're gonna hear things and see things one way in your mind, and that's great. And we might try to replicate that as much, but also to be open that when it comes to reality, it might be a better sounding, a different way than we plan, and that's okay. And I kind of because I may have a brainstorm on this and vision, but like, so okay, now we get to the place, and she's seeing the sights and seeing something that some B-roll things she want to get, and it's like, yeah, learning to be open to, okay, yeah, it doesn't have to be exactly what I envisioned for it to be still great. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think that, and that's kind of hard. That's one thing I had to learn though. Is like, okay, just because it don't sound like exactly what I thought it did when I was rapping it at home, it's still, it still got the right mix on it.
Yeah, yeah. You just
Yeah.
never know what direction it could take the video, and it might hit in terms
Mm,
of it
right.
might
And
be something that make
and
it take off.
exactly, and I think that's important. One thing I think is kind of good too is consistently working with people. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I've noticed that, like, when you do develop sounds, and they develop your sound, and they understand. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, because it's harder when I, especially early on, and I still work with different people, and they do great work and everything. But especially early on, it's harder when, like, you trying to work with a different, you learning their style and how they engineer every time, and how they record, or how, what I'm saying, how they work every time. Whereas you get a team around you that you done made 5, 10 videos with, 10 to 20 songs with, and it's like, now you get in the studio, it's that chemistry. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So I think
yeah.
I think building chemistry is a good thing too, for creating the best art when it comes down to it.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Like there's some people that have been collaborators with me over a very long period of time. Like, but there's also like it is to the point where I could send a track to somebody and it's almost you would think like we're in the same room
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
way our verses come
Like,
out.
we bouncing off each other in the same on the
Yeah,
real. Nah,
yeah, and that's
see, I
amazing.
And I think that's what too. I just did a collab by one of my longtime friends, Frib, Tip Top Frib. That was the album before Novi presents the Surreal was self inflicted. We known each other so long, we kind of like that too. And Novi too. That's how I've been working with music. It's like, man, we can get in a room. I hear a beat, or he'll send an open, and it's like, bro, yeah, that's exactly what I would have said if I was you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro, that's the hook I would have put on. That's the flow I would have used. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's dope, man. That's some of the best art for sure. For sure.
Man, man. Now, also, kind of going back to music videos, like I think music videos are kind of almost like small movies or shows, to some
Yeah,
degree.
right.
And like, how has that helped you as well in terms of being able to grow your audience or has anybody because this has happened to me where some people might discover me more on YouTube and then they come
Right.
back and find all my other music or they might discover me on social media first and then get
Let's
kind
get
of
to the music.
into my
Right.
world. But how does that help you coming out with music videos? Because I always say that artists, you got to find your whatever your budget is because
Right.
I've worked with music videographers that they charge a lot to work with, but I found some that are pretty reasonable
Right.
for most artists. But I think that artists should have music videos as well. So what's been a benefit of that for you?
Okay, so one of the things I say is kind of, and again, going back to how we talk about taking it serious, I'll say this. One of the indicators for me is for me to tell if an artist is taking the music serious is how many music videos do you have? And looking at your music video. And for two reasons. For one, if you have a music video, I know you went out and paid somebody and you went, you know what I'm saying? So you're used to investing in your music because that's what if you independent, the label ain't paying for you, then you're paying. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that tells me that. And then two, I think it's a tale of the times. We're in a time of, we're consumed by, visuals and sounds and stuff. So it's like, if you got to get people to sit down and look. And honestly too, I think for me what it's done, I think when I start dropping all my most videos, it's almost, that was a time when I'll say I started getting a buzz, the most buzz, and
Yeah.
people started taking me more like the most serious as an artist, as a profitable artist. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I always preach like you. I'm with you. I think you gotta have visual because it shows. YouTube is still the original. You know what I'm saying? Creator account. So you gotta be on there. You gotta have visual. It shows that you're serious. And like we said earlier, people become fans of the brand, whether we know it or not. We're visual. We want to see your music. Could be hard. We got to see you though, or we got to see something. If it ain't you, we got to see cartoons or
Oh,
videos. We got to see something because. So for me, I think it like I said, I had a year where I dropped 20 visuals in 1 year, and that's honestly I've probably seen one of the most increases in my career. You know what I'm saying? I started getting views. I started finding people that wasn't in my immediate circle because they're finding me on YouTube now. You know what I'm saying? I got monetized off YouTube by it. I was just dropping. I had a goal of dropping a video a month. I was like, man, I'm gonna drop something a month. And two, with just some free game. I think people should do this too. And how you said like visuals are little movies. Realize what that like when I started dropping visuals. This is a time when everybody that rapped was in a house with guns and a whole bunch of people, and that's what the video was. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I literally made a point to say, "Hey, Asia, we can do whatever. I just don't want to do that." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
when people see my videos, I want you to at least catch something. To even putting women, people forgot to put women in videos no more. Like women, dudes, we got so gangster now. It's like we got guns before we put women in videos. Like women, you know what I'm saying? We still love women and beauty. Beauty still sells. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's just some free game. I say, man, find you a niche, find you a style that you like, and try not to don't be consumed into looking just because it's popping for them. Don't be consumed into looking like everybody else. But your videos is a huge part about your brand, your sourcing, your marketing, and all that's gonna stand. Even this too, you get videos. That's how you get your content. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You piecing it up
Yep.
like the streamers these days. Clip everything up. That's the
Yep.
way you go. How a blog gonna post you if you don't got no videos?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like blogs can't post you with your little your iPhone recording thing. You're not gonna get no views on that. You gotta have a visual. So I think that's the key that artists need to get back to. Make sure they get and spending money on quality visuals.
Yeah, yeah. Spending money, investing in visuals yourself, and then like even learning like how to edit. If you can't pay nobody, learn how to shoot and edit yourself.
Exactly.
I've done videos both ways to where like I remember 10, 15 years ago I was editing some shit that I had shot on my Canon.
Yeah.
And you know it got better and better once I kind of learned more out of it. And now these days, if I shoot it and because I'm very particular, like I want it done a certain way.
Right.
But there are certain people too, like I could send a video that I shoot and I know that they'll edit it how I want it.
Yeah, yeah. You ain't got to
But
worry about it.
yeah, yeah. And I think that's another skill that just generally speaking, as far as creating content, a lot of people don't know how to edit. So, taking the time to learn that craft.
And I ain't gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? I have to admit, I'm one of those people. I'm so untech savvy. But with that being said, even me, Instagram edits and all that stuff now, little, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, making little reels, it's self-explanatory, even for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like I said, I'm not tech savvy. I still got an iPhone 8 or something like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even mess with it like that. But you're 100% right, man. But that goes to if we want something done, you figure out how to get it done. Whether you'll get some
Yeah.
money for it or you'll learn it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's 100. That's a
And I,
hundred.
I like how you said too, kind of how we spoke on, even talking when you was talking about your early podcasts and early videos. People, I think people, and that's what separates a lot of us. People are so scared to look at the early stuff and be like, "Oh man, this wasn't as it wasn't great as it is now. But people, I've learned that fans and people that follow you actually respect that. Being able to
Yeah.
see that, oh, your first videos was this, and now look at what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not that the other one was trash, but yeah, if we're doing anything, we should continuously get better. So I think the people should realize, like, don't fear away from, oh, my first stuff is gonna look amateur. It's not gonna be. I don't have the budget or everything I need for it to be as pro as I need it. Like, just start putting it out there, and you'll get there. And understand, don't fear away. Don't let the fears make you shy away from it, because you'll never get there if you don't start. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I look at it kind of like, I looked at even going back to like some of my old flows, my old beats, like
Yeah,
just
right.
to where if I went back 15 years ago to what I have now, it's just completely night and day. And it's,
And see,
yeah,
I think because growth is one of the coolest things in the world, man. Like, get to me, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's cool. Which I had people tell me like, "Oh, go take it off the old stuff I got on SoundCloud." I'm like, "Nah, that was
it's
an
all
era.
part of the journey.
Yeah, it's part of the journey. It's stamped. You know what I'm saying? I came in just freestyling in open rooms, and now we go. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of cool to look back sometimes, like, and even the old footage. I'm like, man, we was paying to do shows in empty rooms. Now we getting booked in full rooms, packed rooms. You know what I'm saying? It's
That's
beautiful. Like,
amazing.
yeah, I think so. I think
Mhm.
I love, but again, I think that's people more than and people don't like that I tell them this, but I'm like, 9 chances out of 10, what's really stopping your career is fear. You're
Yep,
not. You're scared to be judged. You don't
yep,
want people to hear your music and somebody not like it. You don't want people. You know what I'm saying? You got to be okay. Once you break that wall, then you become a real artist. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Like,
I work with some people that annoyed me with that whole thing, like, it's not ready. It's not ready.
oh my God, yeah.
All right, well, tell me when it is. We've done it about 30
I
times already.
That's what but I like exactly, and those are the people I'm talking about. You're hiding that it's not ready. Is I'm scared to drop, and I get it. But acknowledge it. You ain't got a lot of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. It's intimidating. You out there now, because it's a saying I like to say too. Like Beyonce just had her last concert. And it's kind of it's a humbling thought to have, though. But it's like, if you make music, and if you make music online and you sell music, right? You're in the same business as Beyonce. Different scales and levels, but we're all in the same business. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
So when people choose to listen to your music, they could be listening to Beyonce music. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So
yep,
when you think of it like that, it's kind of like, yeah, I get it. It is intimidating, but at the same time, it's like you'll never get nowhere in that fear, because it's like that fear, that procrastination will stop you from. And now it's been 5 years and you ain't dropped. You don't do music. Your whole time done passed now. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
don't let that. Like, understand that you are in the same business you are, but at the same time, it's like Beyonce had to start somewhere, Future had to start somewhere, all the big Drake, we all had to start somewhere. Don't let the fear stop you. You know what I'm saying? I think so. It's a confidence thing. I think music is one of the biggest things. You got to have confidence in yourself, supreme
Gotta
confidence.
gotta have confidence.
Yeah, but like you said, we competing with labels with $1 million budgets. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
And you can only get better the more you release it.
Yes, sir. Exactly. I don't know if you come back. I come from a sports world, and I think that's honestly helped me a lot in music. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, like, just understanding the grind of things, understanding that, like, in sports, it's like off season. Yeah, you play in the season, but you got months of off season that you're just working out, and then all that goes into how you perform later. So that's one thing I know about music. The same way, it's like you keep on putting in little deposits, and then next thing you know, you look up and it's like, okay. I'm fine now. Now, months or years later, I'm just now seeing the benefits of it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's real relatable.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of where my whole competitive nature comes from in,
Yeah,
doing this music. And it's never that I don't ever view myself in competition with anybody, but at the same time, it's kind of like the coaches used to see somebody's work ethic. I want to have the best work ethic out there, and that's what
but
I strive for every day.
you know what? And going along with that too. Like I tell people, control what you can control. We ain't all Megatron. We not 6'5", 240, but I can work as hard as I can. I can do that. And same thing in music. It's like I tell people, like, do what you can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, even when you don't have the budgets, we don't have this, do something. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And whether you realize it or not, because even this, I say, I can't control somebody like my music, right? I can't control if people go look at my music. What I can do is give them the best quality and you know, best quality music I give them, and I can control how I market it. Give them the opportunity to be a fan. Now, once you hear it, that's up to you. I can't control that. But I
Yeah.
can give you a best opportunity to like me if I'm putting my best foot forward with, you know, by marketing, ads, putting high quality content, all that plays a role. That's stuff I can control. And that's kind of like sports. Control what you can control and things gonna be all right. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Control what you can control.
Yes, sir. I'm like,
So, what does Herc got on the list or on deck for the rest of 2025? Like, what are you working on?
yeah. Okay, so we got man, the rest of the like I just told you we want to do a Novi presents a surreal moment in time too. So we working on that right now. I got like right now. I got 2 shows booked. You know, for one in August, one in shout out to Tiny Stage. Shout out again, DTX Flow Factor and everybody. I got them. It's in Garland too. If anybody want to come out, man, Garland, man, downtown Garland performing. I got to get the dates. I don't know off the top of my head, but I got a couple shows. But honestly, just working. I just want to be consistent. I want to get back to dropping some visuals. I want to do a couple video shoots. So by the end of the year, I want to have another album out, about 2 more visuals out, and just and also too, I'm gonna manifest this too. Get a paid placement. I just linked with another sync company and working with Southern Fried Marketing and everything. So we got some music that we're trying to push. So
Yeah.
that's about everything I got cooking right now for 2025.
Yeah, man. You're actually, talking about earlier how I did back-to-back interviews, but in the last interview, kind of at this point in it, actually towards the latter part of the interview, but like the same guest talked about placements and
Yeah.
how important that is, and what I think that kind of like we talked about with content is we're now living in a space where there's so many placement opportunities. Like I always say on the podcast, I had a placement in 2 different gaming spaces, one on actual game, and I actually had some music placed at a gaming festival.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, appreciate it, man, and
Congratulations. Big
thank
blessing.
you, thank you. And I want to get into that film and television space, but
Yeah.
like artists and producers, they need to look beyond just releasing music. Like their music can actually be working for them. Like, how has these placements as well helped you? Or like better yet, the bigger question, I guess, is um, how did you go about getting involved with these placements?
Well, and see, honestly, and like you said, research and stuff, I really was like, I'm releasing music. My team, we talk about it. And I started by saying this too. I love music. Music is also a passion, but also my passion is business. And I've always been like that. You know what I'm saying? So my mind always worked like that. So I said that to say like my manager, some of my management stuff, reaching out. And I actually have a friend I went to school with. I don't know if you know Bobby Sessions. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, I've actually been to some events
yeah.
where he plays
Okay.
beats. Yeah, yeah.
So I went to school with him, and on and one of his first like early on in his career, but even before he was signed to Def Jam, I remember he was getting placements on EA for like the FIFA. You know what I'm saying? That was one of his first kind of, we remember the big things. And then he got placements, on what's the Eddie Murphy movie? He started getting movie placements and stuff. And I remember back then it just kind of started triggering me. Then my management, like I said, I had one song I signed to Big Surf, one of my biggest songs. That was the first song I signed a placement what you call contract on. It ended up getting placed for, but the place it didn't even drop. You know what I'm saying? So the thing, but I said that did trigger me and me researching and learning that as artists, other ways to get paid besides streaming, that is kind of the way to go about it. You know what I'm saying? It's another avenue of stream. It's another avenue. I mean, it's another avenue of revenue. You know what I'm saying? And two, I also researching how like people don't realize like once you get that placement, your streams on average go up like 4,000% or something. So
Yeah.
if you're an independent artist and you owning most of your catalog, you owning most of the percentage, getting that one placement is also liable to boost your, your streams and everything else. And now people looking up and looking you up and everything, connecting. So that's my business mind really led me to researching and kind of just wanting to understand the business and then too me being independent and like I said, I was older to the music. I started music older. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I wasn't looking when I came in the game. For me, it wasn't like, oh, the goal is to get saved by a label. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's about, I come from a hustle mentality. It was like, how can I generate money, or how can I do it by myself without necessarily needing somebody? You know what I'm saying? And placements is the way to go. Because a lot of times too, and this is what I learned too, they're looking for independent artists because the overhead is not as much. We
Yeah.
find independent artists, and if you only, again, another tidbit for artists, find producers and pay your producers and get your beats outright. You can't win off of no unlicensed and stolen beats and
Yeah.
YouTube beats. You're not going to get paid off of them. So I say these sync companies, if you're an independent artist and you own your music, you know what I'm saying, own your beats and stuff like that, you got everything cleared, they're looking for you, because then we can pay less for you, and then you're gonna start popping more than it was for us to go pay Beyonce to do a commercial or be on a, you know what I'm saying? So give yourself that opportunity by doing the paperwork, get your beats, locking in with producers and paying them, so you can have access to it and everything, and that's kind of and you'll be able to get placements, because that's honestly that's like I said, that's my manifestation for 2025. Yeah, I want to go and get a major placement, because I know that can be some residual money, and that's life changing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I'm
Yeah.
gonna speak that in the air. It's coming.
Hope you get that, man. Hope you
Yeah,
get
I
that.
appreciate that. Bless. I'm
Yeah.
trying to be like you. Man, this is the game, and the gaming is huge.
It's
That's such a huge
huge.
market. That's
Yeah.
crazy. And
Yeah.
too, that's the gaming reaches the kids. And if you're an artist, at the end of the day, that's the biggest market. You're trying to get in front of the younger generation. So
Yeah.
that's dope.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Yeah, trying to seek some more as well. And you're also right in terms of like artists pay for your beats, because that's, even if it's at least you get with the producer and come up with some type of agreement that maybe y'all split
Yeah.
whatever percentage, and you get the placement together, because having a piece of something is better than having
All of nothing.
yeah,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, people fight. Yeah, and that's like I said, we've been speaking on the whole time, and that's one thing I've been blessed in. And even before I knew better, I came in the game. Shout out to Novi. I came in the game with a producer, so I've always been hand in hand. And then even a New Era, I've done other albums with other producers as well. But I've been blessed to be like able to be in the room with my producers, getting what I'm saying, able to we do business right in front of each other. It's not having to, and it's made a huge difference, because all my music is original. I'm able to get paid on everything, when they get on Instagram streams, and I'm able to get paid on everything because I do own it and we do good business, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, people, if y'all hear this, man, you want to get paid, own paid producers. It's still a
Yeah,
producer, it's still a producer driven world, man.
still a producer driven world.
They got it, they gonna hear that beat for sure. So make sure you pay them for sure.
Where can our audience follow you at on socials, as well as find all of your work?
Yeah, I'm Herc GTH, man. I'm pretty easy to find. You can just put in Google. It's HERC space GTH. GTH for God, Truth, Health, man.
GTH.
I'm across on all platforms, any and everywhere. Like I said, just Google Herc GTH and you're gonna find me, man. I got a lot of different sounds, a lot of different content. You bound to like something, You find something you'll like.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely, appreciate the conversation with Herc this evening, and that you're part of the GTH family. Shout out to Sozy, and gonna definitely be tapping in with y'all in the near future, and come out to one of the shows, and whatever visuals, projects, anything you got, in the future, feel free also to reach out. Doors also always open. You're always welcome.
Say,
So
I'm for sure trying to tap in. I'm trying to work with you. Let's put some, man. Get something going. I know, get some motion.
yeah,
We're not too far either. It'll be easy for
yeah.
sure.
We're gonna chop it up offline. About some of the things I've been kind of doing with artists that been on the podcast, as well. So yeah, I know you're gonna be interested in that, but we're gonna definitely chop it up. Man, you could also follow me on Instagram at d._major music. Same thing on TikTok and Threads. And if you hung around this long, to the interview, please consider subscribing. Like the post, dope music creator interviews like myself and Herc talked about tonight. And you never know what gems you can get from some of these interviews. So, definitely stay tapped in, whether it's YouTube or all podcast streaming platforms. It's been D. Dot and Herc on the Major Music Lounge podcast, and we're out.
Major Music.
Ain't gotta say much, the winning speaks for itself. Winning speaks for itself. Winning speaks for itself. Everything I blaze gotta be top shelf. Gotta be top shelf. Gotta be top shelf. Ain't gotta say much, the winning speaks for itself. Winning speaks for itself. Winning speaks for itself. Everything I blaze gotta be top shelf. Gotta be top shelf. Gotta be top shelf. Nothing given to me, I had to earn it all. The gas in this J had to burn it all. Return the ball, going from the bench to the game. Like Wesley Snipes, hit it for the money train. Built my name independent, hustle don't stop. I'm cool with the same squad while y'all click hop. My next drop, I wanna level up even more. Live what I rap, homie, this is not a show. Go with the flow, manifest what I dream.